let me just start by saying I hate needles. I can't stand them. Right? So every time I go for blood work, it's like, you know, like whatever. But today it was, I don't know, just, you know, I cringe every time. Every single time I sit there in the chair and she wraps the thing around my arm and she gets the needle ready and everything, right? And you know how they always say, just don't look at it, don't think about it, blah, 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 blah. Well, for some reason today, I looked at it, I thought about it, and it hurt. Usually doesn't, because I'm usually looking the other way or thinking about something else, you know, like they tell me to do. But today it was just, I don't know. Probably because when I got there, after walking for an hour to get there, when I got there, anyway, when I got there, there was a kid sitting in the chair getting blood work done, yelling and screaming. It's like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, it's gonna hurt, blah, 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 yelling and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wow. You know, and everybody that was sitting there waiting was just like, just whispering to each other about it and everything. And I was thinking, you know, this reminds me of when I was a kid. I was exactly like that when I was getting my blood work done. You know, I'm no stranger to blood work. I've been doing this all my life, mostly because I was born with a heart condition, right? So I had to go into the hospital and into the, you know, go and get my blood work done and MRIs and CT scans. I don't know why they call them CAT scans. They're CT scans. I don't know where they get the idea from. Is there a explanation about that? Let's see. A computed tomography scan. That's CT. Computed tomography. Okay. Scan is an imaging test that uses a computer to put a series of X-ray images together to create detailed 3D images of organs, tissues, bones, and blood vessels in the body. Ooh. Okay, so what is a CT scan versus a CAT scan? Sometimes thought to be different types of diagnostic tests, they actually refer to the same X-ray procedure. Okay, so it's the same thing. Who knew, right? So when you say CAT scan, it's the same thing as a CT scan. Let me read further. Sometimes thought to be different types of diagnostic tests, they actually refer to the same X-ray procedure. CAT, C-A-T, stands for Computed Axial Tomography, and CT is simply Computed Tomography. CAT scan was the first of the two terms to be used. CT scan has become more common in recent years. Okay. So if somebody else says CAT scan or CT scan, don't correct them. It's the same thing. Yeah. You know, it's like tomato and tomato. People say different things. It's the same thing. Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, I was yelling and screaming, and I guess I was thinking about that when I was sitting in the chair. Anyway, back to the story. It was the kid yelling and screaming and whatever. Anyway, I gave the receptionist my... Did I put my card back? Yeah, okay. I got my wallet here. Of course, it's Deadpool. Awesome. Awesome. Merc. Yeah, it says right there. Merc with a mouth. Love that. 1991. And yeah, black on black it says Wilson. Because his real name is Wade Wilson. But yeah, I like this wallet because it's like cloth and leather together. I know that rhymes. But yeah, it's an awesome birthday present. So anyway, I've had that for a couple of years, I think. So, back to the story. I know it's taken a while, but whatever. You got time, right? Right? Yeah, of course you do. Alright, so... handed in the paper for the blood work and all this stuff, and I went and I sat down and I'm waiting and the kid's still screaming away. And then after the blood work was over, he went running out of the room, like right past everybody, past the reception, past the waiting room, out the door. And I guess his mother or grandmother or whoever was there with him ran after him and like, no, you can't go that way, we're not done, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, and he's like, I want to go home. It's just, it totally reminded me of when I was a kid. But anyway, then I got called up and I went in and I'm sitting there and I was talking about that. I'm like, oh, you know, joking around with the nurse, of course. I'm like, oh, I promise not to yell and scream like that little kid did. And then I told her, yeah, he ran out of there. Ran out. Anyway, she laughed. She says, like, I was talking to her while she was doing it too. She says that she does that about 50 times a day. Could you imagine stabbing people in the arm 50 times a day? It's like, wow. And I went and I said, yeah, the only thing that changes is the arm, right? She's like, yep. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to do something like that. I'd be too scared that I'd be doing something wrong, like not poking in the right place or whatever. But anyway, yeah, I got this really cool red dot right there from it. See that? It's a red dot. That's where the needle went in. But anyway, aside from that, that was nice, you know. And I had to do a urine sample, and I went into the washroom, right? Like on the way there, I drank a bottle of water, like I usually do, and that usually, you know, by the time it gets to the urine sample, I have to go. But today, I didn't. So I refilled the water. I refilled the bottle with water because I kept it with me, obviously. Drank that, still nothing. Did it again, drank that. So I had 3 bottles of water in me, and I still couldn't go. So I grabbed the little container, and still didn't break the seal or anything, right? So I grabbed the container, and I went and I sat in the waiting room for like an hour. A whole hour I sat there. And then I had to go. Go figure, right? So I went back into the washroom, did the thing and whatever, and then I left, and it took me another hour to walk home. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't like needles. I never did, but I know it's necessary to do the blood work and everything. But anyway, the reason I got my wallet out is because I wanted to check my thing. My doctor's appointment is May 24th at 1:30 p.m. Holy crap. So, not sure. You know, I might have to walk. Oh yeah, immunization card. I still keep that with me, even though I don't need it. You never know. Might come up sometime. But yeah, May 24th, 1:30 p.m. It'll take me about an hour. Well, no, it'll probably take me about half an hour to walk there. I don't know. Depends on how slow I am that day. Sometimes, I got good days and bad days. It all depends on how I'm feeling or how much my legs hurt, whatever. So I might have to walk. I might not have to walk. I don't know. It all depends on if I can get bus fare by then or not. If I can't, then I'll walk. Whatever. I'm not scared to walk places. Like I proved today. It took me an hour to walk to the clinic to get the blood work done. But it's necessary, But yeah, I always do my blood work a week in advance. That way my doctor has time to check the results and look them over and call me if he has to and whatever. And then thank you that he never has had to call me about it. But I don't know. I'm hoping he never does, right? Because when your doctor calls you about your blood work before your before your scheduled appointment, it's usually a bad thing. So I'm glad that he hasn't had to do that so far. So anyway, yeah. So it's next Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. I'm gonna leave here about 12:30. Like if I have to walk, I'll leave an hour in advance. I don't care if I'm sitting there. Because he usually, he's usually the only doctor in the building at the time. So he's got like tons of patients, and I'm usually waiting there for a couple hours anyway. So whatever, it doesn't matter if I show up there early as long as I don't show up late. That's my motto. I always show up early because if you're on time, you're late. Yep. But yeah, okay. So, we have figured out that a CT scan and a CAT scan are the exact same thing. See, you learn something new every day, and if you already knew that, it's a refresher course, I guess. I don't know. Is this still hot? Please, no. Ow! Yes, it is. Ow! Oh, that hurts. Well, at least I got my water. I like that stuff. That stuff is good. But anyway, I'm going to go back to watching fairy tale theater. I don't know why. A friend of mine was talking about it, and there was an episode with Mick Jagger in it. And I figured, hey, why not? So I started watching it. There's a lot of celebrities in this. This is back from the 80s. So, and it's hosted by Shelley Duvall. She played Olive Oil in Popeye. Popeye? Oh, Popeye! Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. William Daniels, Matthew Broderick, Gene Stapleton, Gregory Hines, James Earl Jones, Howard Hessman, just a whole bunch of famous people from way back, I know you probably don't care, but Christopher Penn was in there. Let's see here. I just finished watching the Rip Van Winkle episode. This one is The Little Mermaid. It's like mostly grim fairy tales. Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, Thumbelina. Pinocchio was played by Pee Wee Herman. That was good. Princess and the P. Liza Minnelli was the princess in that. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Tatum O'Neal was Goldilocks. Hoyt Axton was in it as a forest ranger. He was the father on the Gremlins. He was Billy's dad. Hansel and Gretel. Ricky Schroeder was Hansel, and Bridget Anderson was Gretel. Joan Collins was also in that as the witch and stepmother. Sleeping Beauty had Bernadette Peters, Christopher Reeve, Beverly D'Angelo, Carol Kane, Sally Kellerman. Like a lot of like really big. The Nightingale. Mick Jagger was in that as the Emperor. Barbara Hershey, Bud Cort, Mako, Key Luke, I think. Edward James Olmos, Angelica Houston was in that. Jerry Hall and Shelley Duvall, who also performs the voice of the Nightingale. Rapunzel. Who was Rapunzel? Shelley Duvall was Rapunzel and Rapunzel's mother. Jeff Bridges was in that, and as the prince and Rapunzel's father, which is weird. Gina Rowlands, Roddy McDowell. You know, like, there's a lot of... Rumpelstiltskin was played by Hervé Villechaize. The plane! Yeah, that guy. Robin Williams was the Frog Prince. In the Frog Prince, of course. Terry Garr is the princess. Renee Aberyonis. Candy Clark, Roberta Maxwell, and Michael Richards as King Geoffrey. Michael Richards was also in Pinocchio, the Pinocchio episode. He was one of the guys that was tricking Pinocchio into whatever, trying to get his money from him. But yeah, Robin Williams was the Frog Prince. That was the very first episode. But yeah, there's only like 27 episodes, and I'm on 26, which is The Little Mermaid, which is Pam Dauber as Pearl. Her name's Pearl in this one, I guess. Yeah, a young and beautiful mermaid named Pearl falls in love with a human being who is a human prince named Andrew, and sacrifices everything to be with him. So, Pam Dauber as Pearl, Treat Williams as Prince Andrew, Helen Mirren as Princess Amelia, Karen Black as the Sea Witch, Brian Dennehy as King Neptune, and Lorraine Newman and Donna McKechnie as Pearl's sisters. Yeah, it's a good series. I like it. I'm not saying go out and watch it, but yeah, I recommend it to anybody. And if you've already seen it, good for you. Awesome. Because it's a good series. You know, you'll learn a lot from stuff like this. And this is why most of these actors are big and popular today, because they had experience on the stage doing theater. Yeah. But anyway, I've talked too much today about my blood work and about my day. So I will go, and I'll be back tomorrow with a brand new video. Just for you. Okay, that was Irish. I sounded like a leprechaun. Yes, I'm a little leprechaun. I am Irish, so it comes naturally to me. I am not going to play a leprechaun in a movie. No. No way. Or should I? That's something to think about. Let me know what you think about that. Maybe something might happen.